Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Tarot of Light. And today we will talk about card number 15th, the Devil. All right. I want first of all let people know not to be so scared of this card because the imagery can be somewhat, frightening. But this is really sort of a call to action card, inner action on part of the person who's receiving this card. All right, so let me start first by saying that this is sort of a juxtaposition of the Lover's card. If you remember the Lover's card, or you can see it, you can check back my video about the Lovers. I'll put it right here. Look at the combination of these two cards, right? If you look at it, it's kind of amazing how similar they are, yet not, right? We have here the man and the woman and the Lovers, right? Guided by the angel. Divine inspiration, if you will, right action by right approach, if you will. And then here we have the same man and woman, but they're chained, right? They're chained, and we don't have an angel. We have sort of like, they call it devil, but a bestial creature, right? A beast, if you will, with horns, which, by the way, this card is connected to the sign of Capricorn. And it's connected also to the element of earth. All right. Now, basically, what this card calls to is for basically what happens here is the person who receives this card has a denial, maybe a lack of recognition or a lack of acceptance and unintelligence choices, if you will. All right. It suggests a failure to recognize that good and evil are abstract terms, and they're based just on individual judgment. The devil tries to avoid individual responsibility. That's what happens, right? And that's because we see the chains on the man and the woman, right? It's basically saying, it's kind of calling to the lower nature, if you will, of the human being. All right, it's calling to our lower senses. All right, and therefore you can even see, right, the creature, he has a torch, but if you see the torch is facing down, it's not giving light, it's actually burning the tail of this man, which is interesting, because obviously, humans don't have tails, but it just to represent the bestiality, if you will, or the bestial nature of these tendencies. All right, so he's burning, his actions, his choices are burning his tail. Also the fruits of the woman, you see sort of like almost like grapes or some sort of fruits coming out of her tail, and the fruits of those poor choices. All right, the interesting thing to look at in this card is that if you look at the chain in their necks, it's loose. So this can actually be loosened. They just have to lift it up and get out of the chains. But it is a call, and this is one of the meanings of this card, is a call to action, where you have to find your own power. You have to find your own godliness, if you will, your own good side. All right, let's call it in a simple way, your good way, okay? And get out of the chains, right? Get out of this prison that you have created, or the person has created for him or herself. Right? Because the other thing that is nice to look in this card is the pentacle here. See it up here on top of on the crown chakra of the creature. And normally, the pentacle, when it's facing upwards, when the point is facing upwards, that is the symbol of man. And I don't mean man as male, but man as, the human being, the human race, the symbol of man. But when it's facing downwards, when the point is facing downwards, it's sort of representative of the poor choices or the lack of judgment or the lack of self-knowledge. Okay, so what this card really is calling upon for the person is to reach out to their inner knowledge, reach out to the divinity, right, that we have here, and then transmute this card, if you will, transmute the devil into the Lovers, right, where you have both entities inspired by divine grace, right? Inspired by divine knowledge, by your inner self, by your inner wisdom, right? So, kind of like, just for a quick recap, I would say this card. Oh, I just wanted to say something else. If you notice, the background is black, right? He has those gray sort of bat wings, but the background is black. What does black tell us? Ignorance, right? Again, compared to the Lovers. It's a beautiful landscape with clouds, with blue sky, fruits, fire, greenery, sun. There, this is all darkness, right? So basically what this card is calling us for, calling the person who's receiving it to release the attachments, all right? If there's any addiction, to release it, to move out of the restriction, to move out of the temptation, the destructive behavior they might be facing or they might be chained to. But again, remember, the chain is easily removed. They just have to take a step backwards and look inward, and then ask for inspiration, ask for grace, all right? It can also signify, as you can imagine, materialism, a heavily leaning into materialism, or things that are not necessarily of the self, of the soul, all right? Codependency, toxicity, addictions. So this is all things that the person has to look at, transmute them, all right? Release the chains, and then this creature becomes the angel of the lovers. Any questions, guys, let me know. I'll be happy to answer down below. And please like and subscribe this video. I appreciate the time you're spending with me. So I'll see you in the next video.